It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Showtime! Geno Jones Showtime. I'm coming to you live Monday through Friday. It's Wednesday, a Working Divas Wednesday. Shout out to my Working Divas that's watching me live. Hey, the show is interactive, so everybody watching me live, I'd love to hear from you. You got a comment, you got a question, you want me to shout you out, birthday, anniversary, found a job, quit a job, opened a business, retired, getting married, having a baby, whatever you got going on in your life, I'll be more than happy to share it if you want me to share it with everybody. So jump in the chat room. You see where it says live chat? There you go. And don't forget to leave your comments in the comment section below while the show is going live. So everybody watching me live, jump in the chat room and leave a comment below in the comment section. And everybody watching the recorded version, leave all your comments in the comment section. That's so important because the folks at YouTube are nosy, so they like to know what's going on with the Geno Jones Show and my audience because they know what's going on with me, but they want to know what's going on with you. So thank you. And like, share, and subscribe. That means click on that like button, that thumbs up button. There you go. Like, share, and subscribe. Spread the word. Keep spreading the news. It's like the theme song for the New York Yankees. I'm not a New York Yankee fan. I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago. That means I'm not a Cub fan either. I'm not a Cub hater, but I'm not a Cub fan. I'm a Chicago White Sox fan, so that means that you don't love misery, but there's loyalty. And the team they have horrible owners. No shout out to the Reinsdorf, Jerry and Michael. Now the son Michael is running it. Please sell the team. Please sell the team. But I've seen some names that I don't know because it may go from bad to worse. I digress. It's not a sports show. We talk about everything. It is a variety show. But I was just kind of doing, start spreading the news. It's kind of like New York, and the Yankees play it when the New York Yankees, which I think they got a game tonight. I think they're playing the New York Giants. Anyway, so let's jump right into the monologue, everybody. All right. First of all, off the top, today is International Remembrance of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade. Did you know that? Today, yes. March 25th is International Remembrance of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade. Our enslaved ancestors, because they were not slaves, they were enslaved. They were free people. They didn't just volunteer and say, oh, please put me in chains and put all of my unborn children and grandchildren, just my lineage, for the next 100 years, own us like we are a piece of property, like cattle or a horse or a wagon or something. No, it wasn't like that. And yeah, it wasn't as easy. Well, some other Africans, and listen, I have been guilty. Full disclosure, I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm going to raise my hand. Out of ignorance is a lack of knowledge. And, out of my own ignorance, black folks, some black folks sold black folks into slavery. But it was not really that simple. And there's some books. Born in Blackness is a real good book that you might want to read that can really explain it. Born in Blackness. I think the author's name is Howard French. Born in Blackness. Because a lot of times that the Africans, because for years that people, when you had countries or tribal factions and they had wars, so people who they captured, they basically, they were enslaved eventually, but they would eventually, they would be enslaved because it's like a prisoner of war. But when the Europeans, first it was the Portuguese and really them damn, boy, them folks, them the Dutch, the folks from the Netherlands. I don't F with them folks from sorry, if you're from the Netherlands, Hey, listen, because you and the Portuguese started this shit, and then the folks from the Portuguese, so the Portuguese, the Netherlands, then Spain jumped in, and then the United Kingdom, Great Britain said, hold my beer, and then France jumped in, and Germany tried to get a little piece of it, but it wasn't so much, but it was really Portugal, the Netherlands, like that's where Amsterdam is, yes, and Spain, then of course Great Britain, they perfected it nearly, and for France got in there too, so we can't leave them out. Those are the main culprits of the transatlantic slave trade. And today, the president of Ghana, a brother named President Mahama, John Dramani Mahama, presented what's called a resolution that the transcontinental chattel slave trade, because chattel slavery meant that if you were enslaved, all of your lineage, your child and your child's child and your great grandchildren, if they came from someone who was enslaved, that meant that they were enslaved, that they had no human rights, that they were viewed as property. And the people that owned, let's say the great grandparent, owned the great grandkids until the Civil War. They broke that shit up and ended it. That is the difference. That is chattel slavery. So the Bible talked about slavery, and you had these countries, they had slaves. Well, they had captured prisoners, like prisoners of war, that they would enslave. They made them work, but that's basically, now we call them prisoners of war. But chattel slavery was different. So the president of Ghana, he presented this resolution, and you had all the African Union, all the African unions voted in favor of this resolution that identified the transcontinental slave trade, chattel slave trade, as the gravest crime against humanity. And they recommended things like different forms of reparation. Now, everybody in America, let me calm some of you all down. How do you get in America based on this Constitution that we currently are living under? The way to get reparations, the only way to legally get reparations in America, it would take an act of Congress. What does that mean? That means that you would have to get, at least 60, probably more like 67, minimum 60 U.S. senators to vote to approve it, and a majority of people in the House of Representatives. So that means that you got to get rid of all these Maga criminals and thugs and wannabe killers and some more killers, part of this MAGA cult, or enablers, enable these killers / this invasion force, private paramilitary, Orange Hiller's private paramilitary organization, which is ICE, and specifically ICE. So you would have to have people in the U.S. Senate who believe that, yes, those here in America of African descent, foundational black, because I know there's some argument among some of us here. You got the foundational black Americans and American descendants of slavery. And look, I ain't throwing no shade to you all, but their thing is that they just want to focus on, we don't care about, what about the folks that came here and who immigrated from Nigeria? It's just stop. You were doing your master's work. You were doing the work of the enslavers. All right? But in America, to get reparations federally, majority, at least 60 votes, 60 plus, minimum 60 votes in the U.S. Senate. 60 senators would have to vote for it. Then you'd have to have control of the United States House of Representatives, and you'd have to get a majority. So that's at least 217, 18 votes in the U.S. House of Representatives. And then you would have to have a president of the United States that would sign the bill granting reparations. Yeah. Yeah. Even for you, my ADOS, ADOS, how do you all call it? ADOS, and my FBA, Foundational Black American Brothers and Sisters. Even if we had 60 U.S. senators right now, and a majority in the House of Representatives, which we don't have, I don't need to say anything else. Because you know Orange Hitler would never, not unless he got the majority of the cut, he would never. So yes, reparations have been owed. But, you know, if you want reparations federally, you have some places, you've got a suburb of Chicago, Evanston, Illinois, where they passed, they were able to trace those African Americans that had been living in Evanston, Illinois, for a specific amount of time, or trace their ancestors, and they passed legislation to which some members received reparations in a cash form. I think that the amount was like, I don't know if it was $25,000. You can do your research on that, but it happened. Reparations for the African American residents of Evanston, Illinois. It's where the Northwestern University is. The main campus for Northwestern University is in Evanston, Illinois, the North Shore, Chicago, right there, Howard Street, the Red Line, the last stop on the Red Line, the major rapid transit line in Chicago, the Red Line from 95th to Howard Street. So Howard Street, you get off the Red Line. On that side of Howard Street is Evanston. On this side of Howard Street is Chicago. So. But now, if you want reparations nationwide, well, I guess that means you're going to need to vote. And you're going to need to find people, those who are running for office, who agree and say, yes, African Americans are absolutely due reparations. Now, there's so many arguments, because you can make an argument, well, Native Americans had their land stolen, so they're entitled to reparations. I don't have a problem with that. But let me just keep it here. We can have that other conversation, but let's focus on the harm that was done to African Americans, our ancestors. So I'm good with that. But if you want to give reparations here, it takes an act of Congress. So that means that you have to put politicians in the U.S. House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate, and a person in the Oval Office, a president, that feels the same way, and that would not just commit to it, but actually pass the legislation, come up with a plan. There's a lot of plans out there, but you got to pick one, figure out how much money, even though we're spending $2 billion a day jacking off and, trying to get regime change in Iran. Now, all of a sudden, we don't want regime change. Now we're talking to some of the members, some folks as part of this regime in Iran. But we want a regime change. And, we were going to bomb them into smithereens and oblivion. And, well, you blew up a lot of shit, but they're like, that's all you got? We've been fought a war with our neighbor, Iraq, Iran, Persia. Just do your homework. There was Persia. That's Persia. The Persian Empire, 1,000 years old. Man, these folks been fighting for a long time. So good luck with that. And America's finding that out. Really, it's Israel, because racist ass Bibi Netanyahu's had a hard-on for Iran. Well, Iran said they wanted to wipe Israel off the face. Both of you folks are crazy. But why should more American soldiers, we've lost 13 American soldiers at least. For what? Why are we fighting? First of all, the racist government you have that's running the state of Israel, we've been giving Israel like $4 billion a year forever. The United States has given the state of Israel now. I guess they're varying levels, just like they're varying levels of the white nationalists and racists that have occupied the White House. Ronald Reagan, I could go on and on and on. Not to mention, way back in the day, Andrew Jackson and Woodrow Wilson. I could go on and on and on. But this modern day version, this white nationalist, far right wing, white nationalist government in Israel are like first cousins of this racist, sexist, misogynist, white nationalist, racist government that's in power here in America. So it's Israel that had the hard on for Iran. So fine. Not only do they get like $4 billion a year in aid, but they got all the weapons that racist government in Israel has, they've gotten from the United States. So Bibi Netanyahu, you've got the most powerful military in the region. So why are we fighting that fight? They're not this bullshit. Well, Iran was 20 minutes away from that. This is, like I said yesterday, after the United States, Orange Hitler and Bibi Netanyahu got their rocks off and allegedly, is in Orange Hitler's words, obliterated. He loves using words he can't spell or don't even know what it means. Obliterate. We obliterated their nuclear capability. Then all of a sudden, hold on. Not exactly. We didn't get everything. Okay. But we got enough. Now all of a sudden, Bibi Netanyahu, it's a threat. Now, recently, before the United States and Israel attacked Iran, and look, I am not caping for the state of Iran, the government. Evil, they murder their own people, very repressive, very oppressive, theocracy. Another example of how people have utilized religion to oppress its own people, women and its own people don't buy into their warped version of Islam, like this remixed racist version of white Christian nationalism, or this racist remixed version of Judaism that Bibi Netanyahu and the people that he has around him, which is a racist attitude and racist view. So these people, all these different countries have basically, they've pimped and they've just used religion, which has happened really for centuries, use religion, and they have remixed religion and twisted the religion to oppress, to justify oppression, murder, stealing of land and resources. But this was a fight that Bibi Netanyahu, the leader of Israel, he's wanted to have. He's got the weapon. He's just in terms of just out and out military. Iran doesn't have an air force that can compete with Israel. Iran doesn't have a navy that could topple Israel. The weapons that Israel, that state has, that Bibi Netanyahu has, America has given it to him. So once again, why are we fighting that fight? Oh well, but then it gets, because it isn't just Bibi Netanyahu. It's another killer, Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the leader of Saudi Arabia, who killed an American journalist, because the American journalist pointed out some of the horrible things that the regime under Prince Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, who is now now the cat's out the bag, to where it's, Saudi Arabia is telling the United States, oh man, keep going, because we don't like Israel. I mean, we don't like Iran. We're kind of afraid of Iran because they're crazy, and they as crazy as we are. So we don't really. It's like two bullies in two different gangs. You know, they both violent. They got blood on their hands. Really, you can 3 with Israel and 4 with the United States. But hey, man, look, you know, go on, spend $2 billion a day. It makes Saudi Arabia eventually, you know, even though that oil can't go anywhere now, but the price of oil on the open market is over $100 a barrel. And then the same country that the United States and Israel attacked, Iran, the United States lifted the economic sanctions. So they are allowing Iran to sell oil now. So we bomb Iran. United States, Israel, they bomb Iran, but they allow Iran to sell oil, which means that they can get more money to get more weapons from Russia. By the way, speaking of Russia, we lift the sanctions on Russian oil. So now Russia's Russia's making out like the mob, because all these countries that can't get oil that they would normally get from that Persian Gulf area, Saudi Arabia, from Kuwait to Bahrain and Saudi Arabia and Qatar and the UAE, United Arab Emirates, and Oman, like India and a lot of Asian countries. Russia's like, we got you. We've got you. I can hear Putin. I'm Vladimir Putin, and I've got you. I know it's not the best Russian impersonation, but you get the point. So, but what I wanted to focus on today is, if you stood in line for 4 hours today at the airport or over the weekend, stood in line for 3 or 4 hours just trying to get through TSA. Oh, TSA, I can't. So TSA, I think I didn't. As a matter of fact, let's do this in real time. That's what I love about doing live TV. That's what I love about doing my show. I try to make it fun. Let's do this in real time, okay? All right. So we're going to talk about, if you've been waiting 4 hours, standing in line 4 hours to get through security, the security gate area, TSA, because you have so many TSA workers who are not going to work because they've missed 2 paychecks now. Oh, and by the way, guess who is now all of a sudden walking around in the airports on their phone and eating donuts and Chick-fil-A or whatever the fast food restaurant, depending on your airport? Oh, you got ICE agents with no mask on. Now all of a sudden the masks are gone. Now all of a sudden you see a lot of black ICE agents, which is a whole nother conversation. I may save that for tomorrow. It's a monologue, but that's a whole nother conversation. All money ain't good money. Shout out to, and I get it. You got family, you got kids. Look, I've needed money. You know, I put two girls through college. They're grown women now. I get it. I help take care of my mom financially. I'm there for my family. So I get it. But there have been times where I've needed money real bad. But there's certain things I would not do, no matter how bad I needed that money. All money ain't good money. Let me say that again for everybody in the back to hear. In the back of the barbershop, maybe you didn't hear me. In the back of the beauty salon, you didn't hear me. All money ain't good money. All money ain't good money. Some money is blood money. And if you are ICE agent, that is blood money. Or maybe you didn't pull the trigger, but you are working with an invasion force, a paramilitary organization, a private military, basically for Orange Hitler. That's what he's turned ICE into. That he's already, and they've shown the capacity to murder American citizens in broad daylight. They shot a white woman center mass in her head, and then shot a white dude in Minneapolis, execution style, in broad daylight, in the middle of the street in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So they shooting white folks. What the hell you think they would do to black folks? Not to mention they shot, there was a woman in suburban Chicago, a Hispanic woman. He shot her 5 times and bragged about it, and only a miracle kept her alive. But let me go back to where I was talking about. So you got TSA, the ones that are showing up, which y'all better than me, because if I miss one check, yeah, I got 1 foot out the door. I'm you mess around and I miss 2 paychecks, yeah, I'm out. I trust me. If my radio station caused me to miss 2 paychecks, oh yeah, I would be out. I'm just telling you. After 21 years, I would be out. There's nothing you can explain. But let me do this. What is the average salary of a TSA employee? I think it's about $30,000. Oh, now they got, okay, good. Okay, 47,000 to 50. Okay, we'll round it up from 47,000 to 54,000. Okay. Guess how much ICE agents are starting off. The starting pay for ICE agents is $100,000. So you got dudes with none of the training that's getting paid double or more than double, because you ain't seen a check in 2 weeks. And you are the trained professional TSA agents, and you got these other dudes, ICE agents, walking around playing with themselves, eating donuts or playing Minecraft on their damn phone. And it's amazing, because I've seen all the video. I'm like, you got all these black folks. Where were they at? Now the ones with the mask on, they had like the mask, like they call them with gator mask, or with the gator neck and all that. Sometimes they use bandanas. Those are the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers and the 3 Percenters and the KKK members. Those are really the violent. Those are the January 6th insurrectionists. Oh, I guarantee you, absolutely. I'd bet any amount of money on it. I'd bet a year's salary. Oh yes, that's why they wanted their faces covered up. But now in these airports, they putting these black folks up there. Once again, to my brothers and sisters, these colonizers don't give a shit about you, and they will sell your ass out. Now, let you wind up shooting somebody. Let you shoot and kill a white woman in her SUV, or kill a white dude that was an ER surgeon who had a license to legally carry a firearm, and see what happens to your black ass. Oh, you will get convicted, and your ass will do time. Now these other folks, the white dude that shot and killed Renee Good. Now I hear that the one dude that shot Jason Pretty, is it Jason Pretty? I believe the white guy. I think that's his name. I got so many notes up here, but I think that's his name. It doesn't. It don't really matter, but that's the anal part of my personality. Oh, there it is. I know. I got so many papers in front. There we go. Renee Good and Alex Pretty. Yeah. See, it came to me. I didn't even need to look at that. But anyway, Alex Pretty was the white guy. They shot and killed. But just note to the black ICE agents, don't go wilding out like them white dudes, like them white nationalists. And they're not gonna get away with it, because they're facing charges, because folks in Minneapolis is like, oh, we pressing charges. You commit a crime in Minneapolis, then yes, we'll charge you with a crime. So, but now you got if you stood in line, I'll go back to the beginning. You stood in line 4 hours waiting to get through TSA because TSA agents are not getting paid, and the ICE agents are just standing around, looking around, getting paid. Like more, because their salary is double what the TSA agents are getting, the ICE agents. But it's probably 4 times that because the TSA agents are not getting no salary, no check, and they've missed 2 checks. Or if you're paying $4 or more, truckers, $5 plus a gallon for gas, $4 or more, depending on what city. Chicago, you probably paying close to premium, close to 6. LA, you probably for premium, you probably paying close to 7. New York and New Jersey is probably 6 plus a gallon, definitely 5 plus a gallon. Here is damn near $4 a gallon. Here, it was someplace it was under. It was like $2.60, $2.70 before, like around Valentine's Day. So it shot up. So like I said, if you stood in line the last week or so, you for 4 hours just trying to get through TSA, or you paying $4 or $5 a gallon for gas or diesel, truckers. If you're part of the 1.2 million people that lost health insurance, or the 80 some odd, I think there's a number rounded off, 80 million people that I really don't have the money for insurance, and they're choosing, do I pay my health insurance premium monthly, or do I buy food or groceries or medicine or something like that? But you already got over 1 million people, 1.2 million the last number I heard, over 1 million people completely lost health insurance, just couldn't afford it at all. Was paying $200 a month, then it wound up being $900 a month. Paying maybe $400 a month, and it was $2,000 a month because the subsidies. Oh, Orange Hitler took the subsidies. In the meantime, $2 billion a day. I don't know exactly how many days. 3 weeks. So there's somewhere around 21. Will it be 3 weeks? Oh, will it be 4 weeks? Saturday. This is week 3. So 3 weeks is 21 days. But so whatever day it is, just multiply it times 2 billion. We're spending $2 billion a day. Then I found out, I learned today that the Pentagon, the Department of Defense, or as punk ass Pete Hegseth says, Department of War, spent like $93 million over the last year on stuff like steaks, ribeye steaks, donuts, and food. I know you think I'm making this up, but I'm not. You can Google or Chat GPT this yourself. Because all these government departments, they had, end of the years, because, usually they call the fiscal years from June to June, or July 1st to June 30th, or whatever it is. So all this data is out. If you know how to find it, but it's out there. But I'm not just gonna pull it out my ass. Definitely over 1 million people lost, because we were telling back in the back in the fall. All this talk about, well, we got to get rid of the Obamacare, the money to fund the subsidies for the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare. But what spent $300 million on this ballroom, and all of a sudden, then they just stopped on that, and $2 billion a day. This war is costing America $2 billion a day, not to mention the cost to the economy, the cost to people, the spike in gas prices, $4 a gallon of gas, $5 a gallon gas, diesel gas. Groceries are going to go up because those trucks that need diesel gas to get your food from the warehouse and the farms and the warehouse to your supermarket, because these trucking companies, They got to pass on that cost to these supermarkets, and these supermarket CEOs are going to pass it on to you and me. And it won't be just groceries. Anything, everything that, and we learned that COVID. Like, if the trucking industry shut down, America's fucked. Because we ship everything. All you folks that love Amazon is like addicted to Amazon and got packages left at your door every day. Oh, that's just about to go up too. Because them trucks, oh yeah, they paying over $5 a gallon for that diesel gas they have to put in those Amazon trucks. And now, but FedEx is crazy. I was going to send a little envelope and they were going to charge me $80. Like next day, I say, you all have lost you are lying. The truth ain't in you. $80? You all are smoking crack. I don't know what UPS is, but nonetheless, anything that you have delivered via truck is going to cost more. Everything is costing more. And why? Why? Because Bibi Netanyahu, wanted to go to war in Iran and Iran, and Prince bin Salman, the Prince of Saudi Arabia, don't like Iran. Yeah, I guess all those rich, and it's funny, these oil-rich Arab states. And the weird thing, now, I know there are different denominations of Islam, just like it is different denominations of Christians, of Christianity. It's a whole nother conversation. But like these Persian oil states, countries like Saudi Arabia and Kuwait and Bahrain and Qatar, United Arab Emirates. Think about Dubai and Abu Dhabi. That's the United Arab Emirates. And then Oman. They don't like Iran. And like I said, Iran, those mullahs, those religious, they practice this twisted version of Islam, just like we got this twisted version of Christianity with these white Christian nationalists that are calling for other white Christians. James Tallarico running for U.S. Senate. Some of these, racist white Christian nationalists, they don't even like white folks if you're not bowing the knee to the Maga cult. They're like, we're praying that he should die. He should be killed. He should have a death spiritually. So and then they doubled down and repeated it. And this is what they're saying, that a white Christian who doesn't bow at the knee of the racist white Christian nationalism, which has nothing to do with Christianity, has everything to do with racism, misogyny, sexism, and power. Period, full stop. So that is like, wow, really? So, but in closing, so you've been standing in those 4-hour lines, you paying this $4 or $5 a gallon gas, diesel for all my truckers, and everybody else is paying $4 or more to fill up their car or SUV, or that you lost your health insurance, or you can't really afford it. You going without. You don't get all the medicine that you need because you can't afford to pay the health insurance and still have to buy your medicine. Or maybe your family got kidnapped by ICE, or you got snatched up and kidnapped by ICE, or you still have a family member that nobody can find because ICE snatched them up, even though that they are an American citizen, but they look Hispanic, Latino. In the meantime, you got Orange Hitler and the Maga cult trying to pass what I call the Save My Ass Act, because that's what it is. Instead they call it the Save America Act, but really you could call it Orange Hitler's Save My Ass, because if this MAGA cult loses control of Congress, I'm going to get impeached again. And oh, God forbid if the Maga cult loses control of the U.S. Senate, I'm going to be not only impeached, but I'll be convicted and I'll be kicked out of office and wind up going to jail. So for Orange Hitler, it is the Save My Ass Act. I got to stop you Negroes from voting and everybody else that wants to lean into humanity and empathy and compassion, because I need to save my ass to stay out of jail and continue to rob, steal, and pillage Americans and our taxpayer dollars and all of our money, because April 15th is about 3 weeks off. Folks are got them tax bills, including myself. But $2 billion a day. And the Defense Department, $93 million, not on weapons, over the last year. 93 billion. Forgive me. Yes. No, this is not a mistake. 93 billion. $93 billion on things like ribeye steaks and food. Just really $93 billion that had nothing to do with buying one weapon. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, and especially you, God, most of all. Thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show live, Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Central Time, 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Tell everybody to like, share, and subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Yes, like, share, and subscribe. All right, shout out to Allie Jones, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. She is the CEO of, I want to call it, she's going through a name change, the Lexi Jones Collection. That's what I call it. But anyway, you can check her out on Instagram. her and her Lexi Jones Collection. LX.NCL_. LX.NCL_. Shout out to Mr. Mark Hill Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. You can check him out on Instagram too, or IG. Kel be cutting up. KELBECUTTINUP. Don't forget, please leave your comments in the comment section below. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for everybody else that was in the chat room. I'll see you live Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, everybody. Yes, 6:30 Central Time, 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast. I love you. Love is a verb. It's an action word. Show you love.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.